I'm gonna go on so I can see
Hello,
you.
hello, hello, and welcome to our program for today, The Essence of a Woman. And while I give folks a few more minutes to join, I just want to thank in advance all those who have tuned in to the live program and those who will be watching the replay. Thank you so much and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And we're just waiting to see a few more folks on, and then we will begin this amazing program that we have lined up for you today. So, again, greetings and welcome to our pre Mother's Day program that is titled The Essence of a Woman. I'm your host, Jamaican Joan, and I have some other amazing folks online with me who will introduce themselves, give a brief introduction of themselves momentarily. So I will start with Dr. Arlene Span. Hello, Dr. Span, and can you say hello to our viewers?
Hello, viewers. I'm Dr. Arlene Span. It's a pleasure. First, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And it's a pleasure to be amongst these beautiful women today.
Okay. Miss Kamisha?
Hi, hello everyone, and I am Kamisha. It's a pleasure to be with you ladies, and I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all the mothers here as panelists, and of course to you, Joan.
Thank you. Sharon?
Hi, everybody. I'm Sharon Addison, and thank you for this amazing opportunity to be amongst some amazing women. And I look forward to this. Thank you for having me.
Sylvia?
Hello, everyone. My name is Sylvia Kuntz. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. And I thank you for this opportunity. And I look forward to you all sharing this with us.
Queen Angel?
Hello, everybody. I am Queen Angel, and I'm honored to be on this panelist of elite, beautiful, amazing, talented, gifted women. And I welcome you because you're going to have an amazing time. And we're so happy that you are with us this afternoon. We appreciate you and we appreciate your presence.
Thank you. And for the viewers, Queen Angel is one of the organizers of this amazing event. And so to kick things off, we're going to have Queen Angel to give us our prayer and tribute. So Queen Angel, take it away.
Amen. Father, we have our hearts rested on you right now. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this beautiful, beautiful event and occasion just to celebrate and love on our mothers. Lord, in Jesus' name, I ask that you bless this event. Let it be successful. Father, in Jesus' name, bless every listener, bless every audience in the name of Jesus in a special way. Father, in Jesus' name, bless the mothers to be, the expected mothers, the hopeful mothers, the mother figures. Father, just be with everyone and just bless them in a mighty way. Father, use every panelist today to just be a blessing to all of our audience on this afternoon. We will be careful to glorify you and lift up your name, and we want you to be praised. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, so at this point, I do have a tribute song for us. Amen. And I think it's easier if the panelists will mute their mics so that there's no feedback. Amen. Can you hear me? Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Such a beautiful soul. I never thought that I would be celebrating a queen like she. Isn't she lovely? She's the mom. Isn't she pretty? Truly the angel's best. She makes us happy. We have been heaven blessed. I can't believe what God has done by creating this awesome one. Isn't she lovely? She's a mom. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Wonderful woman made of pure gold. I can't believe what God has done by creating this awesome one. Isn't she lovely? Made of love. Isn't she lovely? She's a mom. Oh, isn't she lovely? She's a mom. Hey, hey, hey. God bless you.
All right. So speakers, go ahead and unmute your mic because we are about to kick things off. Thank you, Queen Angel, for that amazing rendition. And if you're watching, I see Michelle, Ebony, Mary, Jacqueline, Cassandra. Guys, if you could just type in where you're watching from. Tracy, and I see you out of Florida. And we're gonna start with the questions, and of course, let me shout out my cousins in New York, Jeanette, who has tuned in, so this way my mom could watch live. Hey, Mama! All right, so the first question is for panelist Sharon Addison. How do you personally define the success of a woman?
Oh, right. I feel like that is that's a loaded question, because I think as women, we are so unique individually and collectively. We've given birth to so many things, whether they're children or dreams. And I just think being a woman, I think just us understanding our value and our worth and everything that we bring to this planet and everything that we do. So it's not just materialistic or the letters behind our names or whatever. And all of that stuff is good and it's great to have. But I think it's us knowing the value that we bring to everything and what we bring to this planet, and how as a community we're able to come together and support each other. So to me, that's
great answers. And for my viewers, just know that this particular question will be asked to all of the panelists. And so Kamisha out of Jamaica, Clarendon, Jamaica. How do you personally define the essence of a woman?
Okay. So each woman is intricately wrapped with layers of qualities. The essence of a woman means being strong, being intuitive, being beautiful. And I'm not speaking about beautiful as in makeup beauty. I'm speaking about beautiful from being beautiful from within, right? I'm not talking about the Coca-Cola shape kind of beauty. I'm speaking about the soulish kind of beauty. Beauty, offering selfless love to others. First, striding in purity and grace, and ensuring that whatever he or she does, is in line with God's purpose for her life. Right? So we are first nurturers by nature. We have tremendous, we are resilient, very resilient. We are the strength and the glue that holds a family together. We were born with the grit and the steel to withstand the storm of life. Yes, that for me is in a sense, of a woman.
Okay. Dr. Arlene Span, how do you personally define the essence of a woman?
I would agree with everything that Kamisha just said, and she has indispensable qualities about herself and her ingredients, her makeup. She's love, she's loyal to her own purpose, she's loyal to her family. She's that person that, she's selfless. She's the person that her whole being is centered around making sure that she knows who she is first, and then exuding all that energy that she has out to her children. Should she have a significant other, to that person, to her family. So she is a person who is just a pocket embodiment of forgiveness. Should that be what that person is looking for? So she's just that loving person that loves herself first, and then she exudes all of that love out to others. That's the essence of who that woman is. She knows who she is. She's strong, she's bold, she's determined. All of those are things that will tell you that that woman knows exactly who she is. So that's the essence of a woman to me.
Okay, and before I move on to Sylvia, let me shout out folks watching from Turks and Caicos. I see viewers in Maryland, Florida, Jamaica, Douglasville, Georgia. And so, Sylvia, how do you personally define the essence of a woman?
Well, not to repeat what has already been said, I would just add on 2 words that I just spoke of on a previous platform, and that is transparency and being authentic. Those are 2 things that I feel like help continue to make up the essence of a woman, because when you are authentic to yourself, when you're transparent to yourself, those are things that continue to build on the other ones that were already mentioned, that you will be compassionate, you will be loving, you will be open, you will be bold, you will be transparent, you will be courageous, because when you're authentic, all those other things will build on those other muscles that you have now built, because you open yourself up to be a true woman to yourself.
Okay. And before I move into the next question, I just want to remind the viewers that we do have cash giveaway at the end of the broadcast. We will have a Mother's Day trivia. So stay tuned. Sharon Addison, this first, the other question is for you. What is special about being a mother?
I should ask my kids that. I think just being the nurturing side of things. There are people out there who might not have physically given birth, but I just know the thing about being a nurturing individual to me, that's the greatest part of it. Just being given and loving and being selfless. I had a conversation with some friends last night. We were on a chat, something similar to this. And I mentioned to them, as a child, I noticed that my mom would always fix the meals for all of us. There were 6 of us at the time. And she would always make certain that we all had food in our plate. My dad, and then all 6 kids, and she would say all the names. And about 3 years ago, I've been fortunate enough, I picked up the phone. She's in Atlanta, and I called her and I said, Mommy, why was it that you did that? Why was it that you always made certain that there was food in the plate for the rest of us? And I've never really seen a plate for you. And you know what she said? She said, because of course no one wanted to eat, right? Her words was like, I wanted to make certain that you guys ate. And it was a moment of reflection for me, because I was writing a piece and I thought about it. And then I found out other women like myself, they saw that their moms did that, or their aunts, or whomever they grew with. So it's something that's that nurturing side of an individual that makes it so special. And so if anything I could answer, that's it, the nurturing side of things.
Okay. And so, Dr. Arlene Span, next question is for you. What does motherhood mean to you?
That's an excellent question. For me, motherhood means that I've been given the opportunity to take a life or take lives and point them in the direction of their purpose. Take a life, look at it, and all the other things that we mentioned before of nurturing. A mothering means to me is she is the motherhood for me is that you're one that is able to speak healing words. And what do you mean by that? Remember all the little boo-boos, they come and you're the one that you know it probably hurts when the child skins their knee, but you're going to kiss it anyway and tell them, don't that feel better? That's what motherhood means, you know, and then that little kiss or hug or embrace that you give them, make them feel like, okay, this woman really loves me. And they still might be in pain, but just because you did that act, it lets that child know that, yes, my mom loves me. And not only that, motherhood to me means that you have an ear. You have to be able to listen. Because as you bring forth that child in 9 months or whatever the amount of months it took for that child to come here, once that child's here, you're going to hear that first thing is that cry. And you have to be listened and in tune to what does each and every individual cry mean? Because one cry might mean I'm hungry. Another cry might mean that I'm wet. Another cry might simply mean give me a hug. So motherhood means that you have to be willing to be selfless, put yourself to the back burner for just a little while and nurture that child when it's young all the way up to adulthood, and be sure that you are the ear, always being the ear there to listen. And then even when you give feedback, understand that your child came here with their own divine purpose, and that you look at each and every one of your children differently, knowing that they have a purpose for being here. So motherhood for me is just great, knowing that you have the opportunity to mold a life and see that life pointed toward the direction of its own purpose. That's what motherhood means to me.
Okay. Kamisha, what images spring into your mind when you hear the word mother?
How long is the show again, Joan? You have to go on and on. So images like a doctor, lawyer, teacher, a counselor, mentor, life coach, a chef, a psychologist, a problem solver, a burden bearer, a prayer warrior, a confidant, a dean of discipline, a referee, a personal assistant, a chief financial officer.
Yes.
Boy, just to name a few. Just to name a few. Because, of course, a mother will fit into all these roles at some point throughout the stage of rearing a child and beyond.
Okay. Sylvia, how has having children changed your life?
Let me unpack that. The short answer. Having children, there's not a blueprint for this,
Right.
and to me, nothing is ever cookie cutter. And what I felt, I was honored to birth children with my imperfections. God allowed me to bring something in this world knowing that I was messed up. So I had to just take a pause with that you trust me with a life knowing that did you realize what you just did? And to see that from infancy to now young adults now, I know if they're listening, they would say that they're grown, that they turned out pretty good, you know, and I'm honored that God allowed me to even give them life. I mean, when I see that, I'm just in awe that something as precious as a life, because that's exactly what it is. And I'm going to say that I had no blueprint. I mean, we can say all day that we can read books, but a book cannot teach you, as Dr. Mom said, how to really nurture a life. You have to have this within you. and to know that this is somebody that you are now trusted to show them the way. And the impact that it made on me was like, I really now cannot take life as normal. It's now them and then me. And from that moment on, 34 years ago, my life was now all about them. And I'll tell you, as anybody know, a mom would tell you, you are a pit bull when it comes to your children. You would do whatever. You come outside of the house with your rollers in your hair, one on, and you will fight for your babies. And that is what, I mean, I never thought that would be me. I saw other moms doing it, but until God did that for me, you never could have said that would have been me. And I'm so grateful, like I said, 34 years and 25 years later, that I'm still able to have that same nurturing experience. And I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. It's awesome.
Okay. And if you're just joining the live, if you could just please drop in the feed where you're watching from, I would certainly appreciate it. So Sharon, what female public figure inspire you and how?
Wow, public figure. Usually I would always think of an aunt or family member, but since you asked me that question, I'll answer it. I think there are three women that I really, they've inspired me. And I think one of them, to me, was the late Princess Diana, believe it or not. I loved how authentic she was, her love for people, her humanitarian work, her philanthropic work, and just loving people because of them just being people. She looked beyond everything else. And despite what she might have experienced in her personal life, I think she has been a really big influence, and that has continued to inspire me even when I travel on medical missions or whatever else I decide to do. Just loving people for who they are. So yeah, I really, she's one of them. She's in my top three.
Okay, awesome. So Dr. Arlene, what was your biggest struggle as a mom and how did you get past it?
Wow. I'm going to say that my biggest struggle was to watch, and one is on the platform today, my angel, to watch my two children transform physically from being vibrant and outgoing to becoming, both of them at a point in their life, to becoming paralyzed and not able to do the things for themselves that they were able to do prior to their paralyzation. And to see how calling upon others for prayer and being consistent in looking to a higher power than myself, to see that those children, and every time I hear my angels sing, and minister to others, to me is a testament of what God will do when you turn everything over to Him and allow Him to see. Now, that was a struggle for me in my mind to see I didn't know if this child was going to ever be able to sing again. I didn't know if she was ever going to be able to walk again. But to witness right before your eyes now the miracle that did happen now, and to have a son who was involved in a car accident, I didn't know as a mom that was trauma, that was tragedy. How do we move forward from here? How do we help him? And to see that they both are their own entrepreneurs now, to see that they both are just vibrant, and to see that the one thing that could not be silenced, it did not matter about their physical bodies, but the voice that they had, that they were allowed to use, to see them now as adults using the voice that they have to help others. That is the biggest challenge that I had. But we overcame that challenge, looking at what God would do for us when we trust Him. That was the biggest thing for me.
Amen. And viewers, if you are watching, the angel she's referring to is literally Queen Angel, who is in this broadcast, who sang so beautifully for us a few minutes ago. So thank God. Kamisha, how do you stay strong, assertive, and feminine? Remember to unmute your mic, Kamisha.
My apologies. So I'm an empath. I'm extremely passionate about helping others, right? I try my best to make, the gain about others and not so much about myself. One of my mantras is that try my best not to focus on limitations, be it that of an individual or a situation, but turn them into positive opportunities. I am always seeking ways to turn my obligatory task into purposeful living. In that, staying strong and assertive means making time for me. That is important. Making time for me, recharging, rejuvenating plays a vital role in my life. And yes, I have some people who are very near and very close to me. They know exactly when I'm taking time out for myself, because it's something that I do and I do often, right? Pampering, reading too is something that really drives me, because replenishing the mind really cultivates positive thoughts. And if it is that I'm going to serve others, then I must come from a place where my thought process is clean. So I love to spend time too with my daughter. And trust me, we play a lot. Yes, we play a lot. We ramp enough. So we dance, we sing, she plays the keyboard, I do the singing. I love music, but I can't dance. I'm not a good dancer. And if you want to see us on the dance floor, when my choreographer comes and she says to me, "Come, mommy, let's do this dance." And trust me, we get dirty, sweaty doing these dances. And trust me, these keep me going. I've stayed very close to God, because that too is key. Staying close to God and take care of myself in an effort to take care of others.
Well said. So, Sylvia, what do you think is the hardest thing about being a woman?
That is an excellent question. So one of the things I thought about is that, and you guys might remember this, some years ago, there was an anchor man that for 3 or 4 weeks, I believe, he went on and he wore the same thing back to back. No one said a thing. No one questioned it, had anything to say. Now, the problem that I have with this, and the hardest, the thing that I feel for women, is that the expectation that they put on us. Because when his female counterpart did this, there was a huge issue. And what am I saying is that with us as women, we are expected that we have to look a certain way, we have to put on a certain thing, we have to have our hair a certain, all of this, which we have to do to enhance ourselves. Like, now I don't know if you heard what I said at the top of that. 3 or 4 weeks, he was on the air. Not one person questioned that this brother or whatever was on the air and had the same thing on, and nobody said anything. So now I must admit that I too was part of the society that felt like that I had to do a certain thing, but that is not my case anymore. But I must say that I think that is something that, unfortunately, as being a woman, we cannot do that. If we, and let me just say, I'm going to say something. I have done that. I have worn something and repeated it, and immediately somebody thought that there was an issue wrong with me. So I just feel like as women, the expectation of what has been put on us as society, and unfortunately, if you're not strong enough to not look at what society says, because one of my mantras is, you can judge me if you created me, but since you did not create me, you can't judge me. So therefore, I had to overcome that particular situation in my life. but everybody's not that strong in their life. So my answer after all of that, Joan, is that the expectation of what they put on us. And you have to learn to walk in your tailor-made freedom. And everybody has to get to that point.
Okay. Sharon, in what ways do you take after your mother?
Oh, Lordy, I got to take my glasses off for that. And sip some tea. I think my mom, oh gosh. My mom is such a very spiritual woman. I would say her passion for her family she's diehard for her family. She's very much about that. I would say the spiritual part of things, and that's a good question. That's a really good question because I would think more than anything, it's just her love for her family, and because of that, thinking about it now because I've always seen it, how dedicated she is to her family, having 6 young kids at the time. Now and when we came to the States in 1981, I think it was my other sister, and how she always put her family first. Mm-hmm. Very big on education. She still is. Oh, how are you doing? You're going back to school. What are you doing? Very, very proud woman. And I would say the love for families is a very big thing. And she and my dad, they've been together. They just celebrated 58 years of marriage. And so I saw that. I saw keeping a family together and did what it took to make certain that the home was taken care of. Mm-hmm. And the children saw certain things when it came to us, whether it was going to church or having certain traditions. So she's very traditional, and I think I got a lot of that from her. So thanks for asking that question. I've been living it, never really thought of it. But yeah, I'm much like my mom.
Okay, awesome. So, Dr. Arlene, what is one thing that you would like to teach your grandchildren?
Oh, wow. Wow. Since they're all adults now, I think I'll focus on my great-grands.
Okay.
Since it's amazing to know that they're all, but I'm a person of purpose. And the one thing that I would want them to know is, what is your purpose for being here? Know that, find that, follow that, and anything that you do in your purpose, know that other people will be involved. So you're going to want to treat those people the way you want to be treated. And I guess that would be, what's that thing they used to say? What's that thing? The rule, the love rule, the love rule. Come on, ladies, the one where it says, love other people the way you want to be loved. So as you are walking out your purpose, let love be and compassion be a part of that. So that's what I want to pass on to my grand and great-grands.
Okay. And before we move to Kamisha's question, viewers, in a few minutes, stay tuned to the message box, because Queen Angel is going to be dropping the rules for our upcoming trivia. So check the feed for information on that as you continue to stay tuned. And again, thank you so much for viewing. Happy Mother's Day if you're just joining. And again, let me know where you're watching from. So, Miss Kamisha.
Yes.
What is something your mom always said to you? It could be a phrase, a scripture, a quote. And tell us, how has that helped to form you into the woman that you are today?
There are a number of things. Speak the truth and speak it ever. Mm-hmm. No matter what, put God first. Sunday school, singing on the choir, all of that comes in play. Do unto others as you love them, do unto you. Always set aside something for a rainy day. But This one, do things to the best of your ability. She loves to say, whatever you are doing, if you're not doing it from your heart, don't do it at all. So she said, do things to the best of your ability. And if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. Yes, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. And that really prepares me for the woman I am today. Whatever I am doing, I go really all out, hard on doing it and getting it done, right? If I'm sweeping, it goes to show whatever you are doing. If you're sweeping the floor, if you're sweeping the street, just do it to the very best of your ability. Don't speak bad about people, and that is something, and it's a tickler. If I hear someone talking about somebody and it's not in a positive light, it really does something to me. And that is something that I really practice, to do unto others as I'd love them do unto me. Whatever I'm doing, I do it to the best of my ability, which makes me into the woman I am today.
All right, I hear you. And having, brought up in the same church, grandparents singing the choir together, I know precisely what you're talking about. So Sylvia, if you could briefly describe motherhood to a young woman who may be thinking of having children, what would you say to her?
Motherhood is a process of a plethora of emotions, from tears of joy to tears of frustration. But every moment is priceless. And I would tell that person that to connect with what I call one of the matriarchs, gain wisdom and insight, and definitely create memories and go for it, because it is the best thing that I've ever done. And I would not, again, like I said before, I would not trade it, because it's one of the things that I believe that every person, every woman that have children, again, every woman is different, and you want to be, whether you actually have birth children physically or spiritually, it's something that you would not trade it for nothing in the world.
Okay. And so before I get back to Sharon with our next question, let me just let the viewers know, well, of course, I'm in Maryland. Angel is in Maryland. Sylvia is in Maryland. Sharon is in New Jersey. Kamisha is in Clarendon, Jamaica, West Indies. And Dr. Arlene Span is in Maryland. So you see, we have a mixture of folks here today. So Sharon, what do you feel unites women?
I gotta say, once we're in alignment and understanding that no one person can do it alone, I always feel that when you're at the place in the space where you can celebrate someone else, you can truly celebrate their success. That's an amazing thing that unites us. Like Joan, whatever you're doing, I'm pumping my fist for you, excited for you. And I always say to people, there's no need to compete or anything like that, because what happens, what he has done for others, guess what? He'll do it for you. And so when you're able to really, truly celebrate somebody's success, you will see the unity in that I want you to do well. I want this other person to do well. I want my neighbor to do well. I want their kids to do well. Because what? If everybody's doing well, it's less likely that somebody's going to try and, take what I have or whichever way. So I think it's when we're able to really support each other, be in alignment, and truly, truly, folks, I always say to people, even if you have to practice it, say, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy. You know what, girl, I'm so happy for you. And when you start to feel it, you're going to open things up for yourself. So you know what it feels like when success and other things starts to come, and you know that you're worthy of it. So I think once you're able to celebrate each other, you will find that, hey, you're totally in alignment. And that's what, will bring us together. So yeah, just being happy for somebody else, truly.
Awesome. Dr. Arlene, What did you love about your own mother?
Wow. Now that's an awesome question. I mean, the show is not long enough for me to answer that question. I mean, just her whole design, her makeup, to see, and when I say makeup, I'm not talking about the fancy stuff we put all over our face, but her makeup as a mom was that she was selfless. She was a person, you have to understand, my mother did not have a formal education. Her education, I think, was at a sixth grade level or something like that. But the love that she showed us and the way that she raised us in such a way that, you know, everything from her just trickled down. And she was a person that she was always having you to remember. And what I mean by that is she was a person that allowed us to be ourselves. I can remember she didn't call me Arlene. My name is Arlene, but my mom would call me Lean. And she would say things like, Lean, you always have your head in a book or something like that. But she might say something to my brother and she'll pull out the qualities from him and say something to him about his artistical abilities or something like that. So being my mother was a person that she's deceased now, but she was a person that no matter who you are, she will show you love. She has such compassion for any and everybody. If she had two potatoes and it was 15 people to be fed, she would make sure that all 15 people, not necessarily in our family, but if there were kids in the yard playing with us, oh yes, they got the opportunity, whatever she had, they got the opportunity to eat as well. So my mom, just her whole makeup of love, her whole makeup of how she was like my mother-in-law. She was a person that would always do whatever her part was. That's what she would do. And I just love and appreciate her because I would not be who I am today if it were not for my mom.
Okay. Kamisha, as a mom, what are the primary values that you try to live by?
Give your best. This one is on the top of my list. Not to toot my own horn here, but my child is a very kind. She's very kind. And it's something that I instill in her from very early. You know, if it is that you're sharing or you're giving something to someone, ensure that you give them your best, not because you don't want something or it may not fit anymore, means you're going to give it away. Give your best and don't just give because you want to look good, but give. And when you're giving, give from the heart. So that's one. Think positive is another one. Always try to find the best in people and in negative situations. We are the garden and the cultivator of our minds. Therefore, whatever we plant will grow. So whatever you think, whatever you feed the mind on, that will manifest itself. You know, another thing is I try to be comfortable in stepping out of my comfort zone. And I do that because if I do that, and when I do that, it will expose me to new challenges and I'll be able to prove myself taking on new challenges. I try my best to put God first in everything I do. And that for me is key. I try my best also to be comfortable in my own skin, to love me and love me unconditionally, right? I really try to practice forgiveness, which is key. Forgiveness, which is key, right? It allows you to lay down your burden and be free and have room enough to forgive others, right? And to just live and live purposefully. Respect others, even when they disrespect you. That's something that I really try my best to do, right? Because I realize that people tend to react based on their experience, you know, their thought process. And can you imagine just growing up in a particular situation? So not because the person may not be operating at the level that you are operating means that you look down on people. I try to respect everyone and especially their opinion.
Okay, awesome. Was that all that you have to say? Did I cut you off?
I was going to say too. One of the other thing is, it's very important when you instill these values too, especially in your children, and watch them grow. While you watch them grow and see them, it manifests itself. It gives a very good feeling. I can remember too, I went to make a presentation some time ago, long time. And I took my daughter along with me. The topic was self-esteem. And she was very, very small, maybe about 5, 6. And one day I was in the kitchen doing something and I was beating up myself. And she poked me in the side and said, "Mommy, you have a very low self-esteem." And that did something to me. So in that, I try my best to live a life that she is able to follow, to model, be a good role model for her. So that did something for me. And from that day, I try my best to live some core values, to set the foundation that even if she goes away from or moves away from, it's not that I did not try my best. So values are important.
Boy, I'm so glad I didn't miss that. Thank you. Sylvia, some women failed at their job as a mother. And when they try to do the right thing, their children refuse to speak to them, refuse to mend the broken pieces. And my question is, are there things that can help that mother to cope?
As I mentioned earlier, I've messed up on several occasions. So I would first say, let the sincerity of your heart show. Continue to reach out to that child and ask God to forgive you if there is something that is wrong. If they don't want to be bothered with you, ask God to forgive you. And if they still don't want to be bothered with you, then forgive yourself, because that's what's going to free you. Yes. And that's what's major. And that's the hardest process of all of this, is that you have to forgive yourself. And then the next thing is that you have to forgive that child, because that's still your child. I don't care what has gone on. I don't care what the issue is. And as I had a conversation the other day with someone, is that when I look at every relationship the way God looks at me, and he don't cut me off with all the stuff that I do, he still loves me regardless. That's what you have to do with this child or your children. And I know it might be difficult. I know it might be hard. I know you might be crying and not understand. But when you forgive and move on and let God do it, that is the biggest process. And let him work it out. And guess what? One or two things will happen. Either God will do it or he won't. But the good thing is you've left it in God's hands and you've forgiven yourself. And that's the biggest thing that needs to take place in this process. I know it's difficult. I'm not even going to tell you that this is an easy process. That's a hard thing. But when you literally look in the mirror of your soul and say that I'm going to forgive myself, that's major.
Major. So Sharon, and I believe this question is very appropriate for you, considering that you are a registered nurse. What advice would you give to a mother who has to deal with the loss of her child?
Wow. In my years as a nurse, 23 years, I deal mostly with adults. And so sometimes when we think of that, we may think of a young baby or teenager or something like that. But yet there are moms who may be in their 70s or 80s or 50s or whatever, and they might have lost a loved one. And I think the greatest thing that you can say to any person in such a situation is for them to celebrate the life of this individual and the impact they had. I always like to say when I speak that they've had on this planet while they were here. And yes, they're going to go through stages of grief. They're going to go through stages of loss, whether it's anger, disbelief, bargaining, and all of that stuff. Sometimes you just have to allow people to grieve. But I always think it's what the person, the impact that they had on this planet. I once dealt with a mom that had an adult daughter and it's been a lot of years, so I can kind of just, give an idea. An adult daughter that was in a coma. And I was the nurse, and they kept requesting me to be the nurse. And I saw that mom still love her child, even though she was not able to respond to her. Her body was there physically. And for reasons I know that she was still there, because I would have conversations with this particular patient that was in a coma. I've never forgotten this. It has been many years. But I would see how that mom still loved that child, although she was, no longer there, like to respond to her. So whether it's something like that or someone might have lost an individual, I don't have the answers. None of us do. But I think more than anything is to take comfort in knowing that if that person, if they weren't here, the world wouldn't be the way that it is. And when you think of anything in that way, you understand the fullness of how important each and every individual is. And when we think of that for ourselves, and even when I tell my clients that if you weren't here, because I heard that from one of my coaches, if you weren't here, this planet wouldn't be the way that it is. So when you think of the vastness of that each and every individual, their life is important. And that's why it's so important for us to live our life to the best of our ability. And hopefully we can impact somebody else, and never to look at someone as if they have no value. So for me, it's just to say, hey, knowing that individual is here made a huge difference on this planet. And I've spoken to people as such, and they're grateful. They're thankful for that. So if anything, that's all that I can say, that person has value and contributed something to all of us being here.
Okay. And so before I go to Kamisha, again, just want to take this time to shout out everyone who's watching the live the live broadcast, and to those who will be watching the replay. Again, stay tuned to the feed to see information surrounding the rules of the trivia that's coming up shortly. And please drop in the feed where you're watching from so that we can do the shout out in the right way. And let me see, was there something else before I go to the next question? I think that's it for now. So Kamisha, actually, let me see. Let me go to Dr. Mom. Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Arlene Span?
Yes.
Okay. So Mother's Day can be hard for someone who does not have their biological mother because the mom is either deceased, maybe incarcerated. They may not even know their mom. What are some strategies they can use to get through Mother's Day?
Wow. That's an excellent question. One of the things is to remember. And what I mean by remember is to remember all of those good qualities about your mom. And even look at your own self and see what are some of those qualities about her that she instilled in me. And so instead of looking at it as a negative, look at it as my mom continues to live on through me. I'm compassionate because my mother showed compassion. I'm creative because my mother would take something that was nothing and make something out of it. I am a problem solver. Why? Because I saw my mom solve problems. So look at all the qualities that your mother had, and then think on those things all the good things that centered around who she was. Were there bad days and down times? Yes. But how did she handle those things? Remember, as moms, we have the intuition. It's like that sixth sense. We know things. And think about how your mother handled things with you. And when you do that, then will you love less? No. Will the hurt go away for the fact that she's no longer with you? No, or maybe. But just know that you remember all those good things and the qualities. Think on that special day. Maybe it's a day like Kamisha said about the dancing. Maybe you can remember when you danced around the home with her. Maybe that was the thing that you can remember. Or maybe for you, you can remember the pies as girls where you made the dirt pies. I don't know if you all did, but I'm originally from North Carolina, so we made the little dirt pies. You can remember that. Or even if it's the boys, to see that, yes, mom did go outside and she threw the football with me and she played basketball with me. So think about the things in your life, the qualities that she instilled in you, and think on all those good things. And when Mother's Day come around, it might not lighten the load, but at least remember, mothers like to put laughter. Mothers want to put joy in us. So you think about those things so that you can put that smile on your face. And if nothing else, if you can only remember she had that point. I know for my mom, I can remember what that point meant, or that way that she would look. And that look meant something. So you remember those things about your mom, and it will make your Mother's Day much easier. At least I think so when I think about my mom. And then look at your features to see, is there anything about your own features that remind you of your mom? And when I look at the camera today, I see a reflection of my mom. As I'm looking back at myself, I see her on the outside. But more importantly, I see her from the inside, because I see the love, I see the compassion, I see the kindness. I know once again that I am who I am today because of who my mom was. And that's what I would say to those who are finding it hard to make it through this Mother's Day. And for that, I'll simply say Happy Mother's Day once again.
Okay. And so we are nearing the end of the panelist portion of today's presentation. So if you're watching and if you have a question that you just need an answer for that I did not come up with, because I sat here and it took me a while to get these questions together. So if I missed something, then please type your question and I will ask the panelists to respond to it. So Kamisha, now back to you. There are women who would like to be mothers, but are unable to bear children. What are some things that they might do to fill this inability while displaying motherly qualities?
Wow, that's a big question. But the truth is, there are no quick tips or easy fixes for happiness in a childless life. And guess what? I will never, ever, ever know exactly how it feels because, hey, I'm a mother. But maybe one of the first things, though, is to make peace with infertility. I think that's where it starts, where it begins. Make peace with infertility. Because life in itself is a gift, right? It's not about the children, it's not the husband, it's not the family, it's not about anything else. The mere fact that life exists and life in itself is a precious commodity. So just trust God with everything. Trust him in the process because he is still in control, right? He created you fearfully and wonderfully. And it's not that the persons who are able to bear children are better off in any way. He created us, he created you fearfully and wonderfully. Find your purpose in this life and live it. Love and cherish who you are as an individual. Love, cherish who you are as an individual. Another thing that you can do is find your passion and live it with everything that you've got, because you've got a purpose. And maybe your purpose, it doesn't include you having a child. Right? So you have to discover who you are and be confident in your abilities. Be confident. Don't feel as though you're lacking in anything. Seek the necessary support from the people you know, the right people too, the right people. So you seek the necessary support from the right people. And one of my quotes says, your calling is as unique as your DNA, and therefore you are a perfect match for your purpose. Yeah, we know the opportunities there to maybe adopt, but just love yourself first and then let the rest speak for itself.
Okay. I'll be careful not to try to cut you off, right?
Oh, sorry.
So, Sylvia, while mothers nurture and serve their families, it is so easy for them to forget about their own self in the process. How can mothers ensure proper self-care?
This will be real quick. And remember to take a day for yourself. We are not any good to anybody when we are empty. So I recommend at least once a week, find a healthy place for you and visit there at least once a week. And notice I said healthy place. And the reason why I said healthy place, because the statistics since we have been in COVID-19 for drug and alcohol abuse has increased. So that's why I said a healthy place of relaxation. And I don't mean to dummy that down, but that is very serious. But again, find a place of relaxation that you know that you can visit at least once a week, and find the place that you can breathe. Because, and I want you to hear this, if you're not good for you, you will not be good for anybody else.
Amen. So with that being said, that concludes the portion of our presentation today as far as the panelists. So without further hesitation, we're just going to go right into the trivia, because I want to make sure that, you know, folks' time is spent well. We're not going to try to drag this thing out. So we're going to go straight into the trivia. So again, if you are just joining in, check the news feed. There are some rules surrounding the trivia. I was able to reach out to a few folks, as we would say, a few good folks, and folks donated to our cash giveaway. And I know it's not much. However, even if the funds could buy you a box of chocolate, buy you some flowers, I mean, it's better than nothing, right? So we're just trying to find a fun way, and while in the name of fun, to give back. Because as you may or may not know, this event is being sponsored by my nonprofit organization, RISA Incorporated. And so this is one of the many things that RISA is doing during this pandemic to try to bring life and light to, you know, folks. So this is a RISA production. And so I was able to get folks to donate. And so we have 8 trivia questions. The trivia questions each is sponsored by a person who I will mention, and each question value is a $25 value. The proper response, you will get $25 if you get the proper answer. So we have a total of $200 to give away, but we must spread the love amongst as many people as possible. Okay, so this is not a big jackpot. Just consider this a token of our appreciation and a token of just you tuning in to our broadcast today. So as I read each question, Queen Angel will also type the question in the feed, okay? And so hopefully you have read the rules, because the first person to give the correct answer in its entirety will be the name that we will select as the winner of that. So I'm going to ask my panelists to be vigilant on the feed to look to see when and who first answered the question. I need extra set of eyes, and that is why I knew this was the best way to do it, because this is being done in real time, so there's no confusion, right? So the first question is being sponsored by Queen Joan, that would be me, and Queen Angel, that would be Queen Angel, who are the organizers of this event. We figure if other people are donating, then so should we. So question number 1 is being sponsored by Joan and Angel. The question: who is the founder of the Mother's Day holiday? And I'm going to give the possible answers in A, B, and C. Is the answer Mother Teresa, Anna West, Ann Jarvis, or Theresa Mitchell? Type away. We have 40 people watching, so the first person to type in the correct answer will be our first winner of our $25 question. And I see Tracy Ann typed in the correct, no, let me see. My screen is flying here. So Tracy Ann, you did not get the correct answer, so you can no longer respond to this particular question. We're not going to say whether it's incorrect or not. We just wait until we see the right answer. And we just did. The Tashika Green and Queen Angel, Sharon, I'm going to task you with the, that was Cassandra. Ooh, wait a minute. That's Cassandra Green. Cassandra, right?
Yeah,
she typed it first.
That's correct.
So, right. So for question number 1, we have a winner, Cassandra Green Malone. Yes, it is correct. Ann Jarvis is the person who is the founder of the Mother's Day holiday. And we'll get your information once we are done. Congratulations to Ann. Everybody just give her some love. Tap on your love thing on the Zoom or in your feed and show her some love. Congratulations. Question number 2. So, you know, she cannot participate again. She already got her money for the day, right? Question number 2 is being sponsored by JNF Enterprises, who the proud owner is Mr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. And for question number 2, what U.S. president made Mother's Day an official holiday in 1914? Was it Woodrow Wilson, William Howard Taft, Theodore Roosevelt, or Calvin Coolidge? Type away. And so while we wait, let me see. And remember, you got to type your answer in its entirety as was said in the rules. If you think you have the correct answer, please type it in its entirety. What U.S. president made Mother's Day an official U.S. holiday in 1914? Type the response. And I see Milan Henry Brown. And remember, you got to have Cash App in order to be the recipient. But Milan, you are correct. So we already found the winner for question number 2. Sharon, you got that? The first person to say Woodrow Wilson was Milan Henry Brown.
Okay.
So moving along. So Milan, you can no longer enter. You won your money for the day.
Congrats.
Question. Okay, y'all show Milan some love. I'm sorry.
Joan,
Love.
Joan, am I reaching out to Milan?
No, that's okay. Just keep the names.
Okay.
Keep a track of the names.
We'll have the names.
Yes, we got you. So question number 3 is sponsored by Mr. Kyle Fields. And that happens to be my amazing husband who figure, hey, I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. Let me bless someone on this pre-Mother's Day celebration. So thank you to my husband, Kyle Fields, for being a sponsor for question number 3. And the question: what was the first U.S. state to issue a proclamation for a day honoring mothers? Was it Georgia, Rhode Island, West Virginia, or Pennsylvania? And let me look to see who's answering question number 3. And guys, Angel is typing the questions as well in the feed. So you all can say, well, her Jamaican accent got in the way. I didn't understand what she said. We have a English typing person, okay? I see West Virginia, and that would be Tracy B. Bless Cunningham. She is the winner. It was West Virginia. So let's give it up for Tracy B. Bless Cunningham. It is West Virginia. So we already found a winner. I'm sorry, guys. I think my computer just did something crazy. So we found a winner for question number 3. Sharon, did you get that?
I'm seeing them.
Okay, because my computer, I don't know what happened, so I want to make sure that I didn't. And you did get it, that it was Miss Cunningham who was declared the winner, right?
Yes. And I think Angel is keeping score, right? Because I'm not going to remember any of this. I'm just jumping in the comments.
Listen, woman, help.
I got
so, question number 4.
Got us.
Yes.
Okay, mute your mic. Question number 4 is sponsored by Shirley Lou and Associates. Okay. And question number 4 is, when was the first Mother's Day observed? Was it May 10th, 1912, May 10th, 1908, May 10th, 1909, or May 10th, 1910? When was the first Mother's Day observed? Apparently it was in May. Was it May 10th, 1912, 1908, 1909, or 1910? We're waiting for the winner. Yay! Let me see.
Joan?
We have a lot of folks watching.
Joan?
Simone Mackenzie. It was 1908. So please drop that down, Angel. Let's give it up for Simone. Simone Mackenzie. Yep.
Joan?
Simone.
Joan?
Simone just won question number 4 that was sponsored by Shirley Lou and Associates.
Before you ask the other question, Joan, just one point. You may have to go back through the responses, because some of the responses may have come in before the person who you may have highlighted. So I guess you can always go back to it.
Okay, so we're gonna check this out before we get off the feed today.
Yeah.
So if the rest of my panelists, can you scroll through and see if you could make sure that we're highlighting the right person?
First person who may have responded.
So what's the right answer?
For which one?
You may have to analyze all of them. So while you're going through, we can do that on the side.
Okay. So before we go any further, question number 1, the correct answer was Ann Jarvis. Question number 2, the correct answer was Woodrow Wilson. Question number 3, the correct answer was West Virginia. And question number 4, the correct answer was May 10th, 1908. So I'm gonna give you all that to work with in the meantime, right? Are we good? Okay. So question number 5 is being sponsored by Godly Image 3 LLC. The owner for this organization is Mr. Reginald Foreman out of Florida, and he sponsored question number 5. Question number 5 reads, what flower symbolizes Mother's Day? Is it the white carnation, red roses, white roses, or lilies? Again, question number 5, what flower symbolizes Mother's Day? Is it the white carnation, the red roses, white roses, or lilies? So we're waiting. Come on, guys. We have over 40 people watching. It ain't nothing but 4. And as soon as we see the right answer, we'll get it. Remember, you can only attempt once. If you don't get it the first time, and remember, you got to type the answer in its entirety. And I believe let me see, Camille Holder was the first person to type white carnation, which is the correct answer. Let's give it up for Miss Camille Holder. Thank you so much, and congratulations. It is the white carnation. Question number 6 is sponsored by Your Awesome Power Within LLC, and that the founder of that organization is one of our panelists. That would be Sharon. So she sponsored this this question, and the question is, who is the mother of Jesus? Was it Mary Magdalene, Elizabeth, the Virgin Mary, or Mary of Bethany? Y'all better know who Jesus's mother is. Again, who is the mother of Jesus? Mary Magdalene, Elizabeth, the Virgin Mary, or Mary of Bethany? I'm waiting. I can't wait to see the answers. Good Jesus. Y'all better know who Jesus's mother is. No one is typing. Let me make sure my computer is not active. Okay. Okay, remember to type. Actually, we do have a winner, Ella Boyd. Ella Boyd. Panelists, you agree with me? Because you know I'm seeing stuff, right? So Ella Boyd that typed Virgin Mary. That is correct. So let's show some love for Miss Boyd. And I got to be looking so fast because these names are going so fast on my screen, I can hardly keep up. But panelists, we got it, right? Come on, y'all, show some love for her. So question number 7 is sponsored by Jay's Management Consultants, and that's a company owned by one our very own panelist here today, Sylvia. So the question for question number 7, Mother's Day was suggested to be the day of. Was it love, joy, peace, or happiness? Again, Mother's Day was suggested to be the day of. Was it love, joy, peace, or happiness? Can't wait to see the response to this. I'm loving this. And thank you guys so much. We have over 40 people that's tuned in. Oh my goodness. Thank you everyone for checking us out. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Christina, up in New York. We waiting to see the right answer. Come along. I feel like singing a Barry Hammond, but I don't do well at singing, so I'm just gonna stick to talking. I cannot wait to see the response. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
I have some friends from Bermuda who are watching. So, hey, Bermuda.
Bermuda in the house. Whoop, whoop. This is international. Bermuda, Turks and Caicos.
And the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Turks and Caicos people, and of course to all those who are joining from Jamaica.
Okay. I'm still.
And
Kamisha, if you could please mute your mic, I'm getting a feedback. So I'm still waiting for the correct answer. Mother's Day was suggested to be a day of love, joy, peace, or happiness. Okay, so let me give you all a hint. People have been typing in, and if I haven't declared a winner, then can y'all just pick from one of the other responses, like today, so that we can give away this $25? I know it's not a lot. Well, come on, you could buy some roses. You could buy some chocolate. And remember, you can only win one. So if you was already declared a winner, you cannot enter again. We won't even call your name if it was already declared a winner. So look in the feed, and to see of all the 4 possible answers, which one nobody has yet to type. Was it love, joy, peace, or happiness? Panelists, one person said all of the above. I agree with you, but we need one. Mr. Buddha Mills, I see you watching. We only need one. And I hope that you have all read the rules, because only females can actually. Okay, we need one. Miss Rosita, we need one. Yay. Let me see. Remember, you can only. Okay, Queen Angel, can you tell me the name of the people who have already won?
I can. Absolutely. So number 1 is Cassandra. Number 2 is
I think we need to revisit number 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll revisit that, but I think those are the names that popped in first in my feed. Number 3, I have Tracy Ann from Florida. Number 4, I have Simone McKenzie. Number 5, I have Camille. Is that correct?
Okay.
And we're working on number 6 is Ella Boyd.
Okay, so Tashika Green. Do you have a Tashika Green on your paper, Angel?
I do not.
So Tashika Green is the winner.
She's the first one who answered.
Yes, because Simone McKenzie said peace, but I thought she was already a winner, so that's why I had to do it. So outside of Simone, it is Tashika Green.
Correct.
Yes. So let's give it up for Tashika. Come on, guys. And congratulations, Tashika. And so the final trivia question, and again, we're going to have to revisit question number 1 and 2, okay? Question number 8 is sponsored by Ava Credit Consultants, and the amazing owner of that company is Miss Janice Faye Thompson. And the question is, what states were the first American Mother's Day? Okay. Oh, okay, hold on. What states were the first Mother's Day celebrated in? Sounding kind of awkward. So basically there were 2 states, the 2 first states that celebrated Mother's Day. Okay. So was it Alabama and Pennsylvania, Texas and West Virginia and Pennsylvania, or West Virginia and Maryland? And I need for you to type it in its full response. Don't give me A, B, or C. So again, I'm trying to find out what were the two states that first celebrated Mother's Day. Was it Alabama and Pennsylvania, or Texas and West Virginia, or West Virginia and Pennsylvania, or West Virginia and Maryland? Queen Angel, I probably, well, actually, you know what? We have a winner, so there's no need to do that. Veronica. It was Pennsylvania and West Virginia. So thank you, Veronica Amadou. Let's show some love for Veronica. All right. So those were the 8 trivia questions. So panelists, we seem to need some clarification on question and who was the first person to type in the correct answer for question number 1 and number 2. So let's all review this, because the first question number 1, the correct answer is Ann Jarvis. I don't want to move my screen. I don't want to scroll, so I'm going to depend on you guys to do it, because I don't want to disconnect the live. So if y'all could scroll, go all the way back up and scroll. Janice Faye Thompson, who is on the line, make yourself useful, girlfriend. Help us scroll and look. Who was the first person to type Ann Jarvis? And type it in the feed for me, please, ma'am. And panelists, as once you figure that you realize who number 1 is, you could just unmute yourself and tell me, and I'll write it down, and I'll see how many people will come close to the answer.
Queen Joan,
Mm-hmm.
what was the alphabet for Ann? Because some people type in the alphabet, and I'm not sure.
No, the rule clearly states it got to be, you must type it in its entirety.
Okay.
So if you just type C, that doesn't count. You got to type Ann Jarvis. That's why the rule was put out there
Okay,
before we even begin. So yeah.
Cassandra is still the winner.
Who is it?
Cassandra is who I see first.
Yeah, me too.
That's who
Okay.
first.
What about you, Kamisha? Unmute yourself, Kamisha. Kamisha, unmute yourself, Miss Kamisha.
Thank you.
So I'm still searching. I received a text to say that, hey, I may have answered first.
Okay, but remember, as the rules state, and it was typed in the feed, it got to be, you got to respond in its entirety, not by the alphabet. It got to be the person's name. So for question number 2, what are you guys seeing? Because I want to wrap this up before we lose our audience. We want to have Queen Angel to declare all 8 winners once we have all this taken care of. So is only question 1 and 2 that is being worked on right now. So what are we coming up with question number 2? Question number 2, the answer should be Woodrow Wilson.
I have Mellon Henry Brown.
Mm-hmm. And that's who I announced? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then that's it. Okay, so I'm going to ask my amazing organizing partner, Miss Queen Angel Grigspan, to call out the names again from 1 through 8, so there would be no questions. Who are the winners? And if you could just say who sponsored it and who the winner is. Take it away.
Absolutely. So for number 1, the winner is Cassandra Green Malone. And that was sponsored by Queen Joan and myself, the organizers of today's event. And then question number 2, our winner is Mellon Henry Brown. And that's sponsored by JNF Enterprises by the amazing Leroy McKenzie Jr. The third question, our winner is Tracian Be Blessed Henry Cunningham. I hope I got all that right. And that's sponsored by the incredible Kyle Fields. And then we have question number 4. The winner is Simone McKenzie, and that's sponsored by the incredible Shirley Liu and Associates. Question number 5, we have Camille Holder, and that's sponsored by Godly Image 3 LLC. And then we have question number 6. Our winner is Ella Boyd, and that is sponsored by Your Awesome Power Within LLC. And then number 7, our winner is Tashika Green, and our sponsor is JAZE Management Consultants. And then number 8, our winner is Veronica Amodu, and the sponsor is Aver Credit Consultants.
Awesome, thank you. And as was stated in the description, not the description, the rules, allow our sponsors at least 48 hours to get this cash to you. And I'm going to be reaching out. As a matter of fact, I need for all the winners to inbox me your Cash App information. So go ahead and inbox me your Cash App information, and we will get that money over to you. This was an amazing, amazing program. And I'm just going to get very short closing statement, because we don't want to hold people too long, from each of the panelists, and then from Queen Angel, and then I will close it out. So Sharon, close this, final thoughts.
Oh, Joan, this is so awesome. And I tell you what, I've been doing my Mother's Day event, and this year will be year number 18, and I had no idea about some of these questions that you asked and the answers. So this was pretty amazing. I learned something new. And so this is a lot of fun. Thank you for the opportunity. And for my friends who are tuning in, like I said, a lot of folks from Bermuda, they're on here. Some of the other nurses, I see you guys. So thank you for supporting us. This has been an amazing opportunity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're all in this together, and let us continue to support each other, support mothers all over the world, and to everybody, whether you've given birth physically or not. We're just thankful and grateful that we are all in this space at this particular time to really celebrate and support each other. So thanks.
Okay, Kamisha.
Oh, so I just want to take the opportunity to thank you first, Joan, and thanks, wonderful ladies. We share the space. I must give a big shout out to my mother, Joan Anderson, who bared 2 in one time. My brother and I came out, we're twins, and it must have been rough. And I thank you very, 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 very much. Much love and appreciation from the depths of my heart on behalf of my brothers and sisters over there in the Turks and Caicos Island, my sisters, my brothers, my bond of encouragers, women of purpose, Winsome, and Sasha, and all the other persons who've tuned in this evening. Happy Mother's Day when it comes tomorrow. And remember, for those women out there who are hurting deep, forget about mending the broken pieces. Just use forgiveness and unload the burden that you carry, and allow the beauty and the peace to reign from within. Thanks one, thanks all. And again, thank you, Joan.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Mom.
Yes, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And thank you, Joan. Thank all the panelists I too learned a lot from you all today. And just to the moms on tomorrow, love on yourselves. Love yourselves much. Know that you are worth something. Know that you have a purpose. And as you're dealing with yourself, your family, your children, understand, like all the other panelists said, put yourself first. Know your purpose for being here, and know that you were fearfully, like one of the panelists said, you were fearfully and wonderfully made. So thank you for this opportunity. To my family and friends who watched in from North Carolina and other places, and my classmate Ella, congratulations on your winnings today. But just thank you, Joan, for seeing that this was needful for the women to get together. So thank you, ladies, and happy Mother's Day.
Okay. Sylvia.
Thank you, Joan, again for this opportunity. And again, it was a pleasure to be on the platform with you ladies. And to all you moms, moms to be, moms that are still trying, I say happy Mother's Day. And I say to everyone, whatever you're doing, don't forget to take an opportunity to laugh. Laughter looks good on you. So take the time to have some moments and laugh. Laughter with balance is great. It will do your body good. Love you all. Have a great one.
Queen Angel.
So I'm just truly grateful again to be, in this particular panel, because it's been absolutely amazing. I can't think of a better well spent, hour and some change with these incredible queens, with all of their knowledge and detail that they've been depositing into us, the different nuggets, and just loving on our mothers as a whole. It's a blessing. I know that we only get this opportunity once a year, but I believe that every day is a gift, and every day we should be celebrating one another, because we have tiny and larger compliments. So I believe, and accomplishments. So I believe that we should celebrate all of them, even if they're a challenge. We talk about how those challenges are stepping stones to our destiny.
Okay. Thank you. So let me just first say kudos to everything that everyone has already said. Mm-hmm. But let me take this time to shout out all of RISA Incorporated board members. And Angel is one of the board members, and so is Sylvia. We have other board members that cheer us along the way as we get through this. Thank you, Ebony House, who is another board member, Mr. Kyle Fields, who is the president, who has also participated by donating, Miss Janice Burns. Thank you guys for being a part of RISA's life. Thank you for all the organizations that partnered with RISA to make a difference in the community. And if you're watching and you're wondering what is RISA, RISA is a nonprofit organization, and Queen Angel could type the information in the feed if you have a chance, please. It's a nonprofit organization that I'm the executive founder, executive director. And RISA Incorporated, we reach out to women. We support women. Women is our platform. We provide services and connect women and girls to a variety of services in the community, anywhere from homelessness services, domestic violence services. We have hosted several toy drives, toiletry drive, feeding the homeless. I mean, you name it, we have done it. Last year, this time, we were doing our tea party to raise funds for youth going off to college. We have done a lot. And so on behalf of my entire board member who helped to make this possible, thank you to the RISA Incorporated board member and the members. And I must not forget my newest board member, Miss Faye Thompson. Thank you so much for joining the RISA family. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are watching live and who will be watching the replay. I know that there are several guys on the live as well. Happy Mother's Day to your mother, to your wife, okay? Happy Mother's Day again to my mom in New York, Christine. And just know that you, like Kamisha said, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I'm so happy she said that, because on my Facebook tagline, that's what it says, fearfully and wonderfully made. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Congratulations to each and every one of you, of the winners. And that would not be possible without our generous sponsors who were mentioned earlier. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into our pre-Mother's Day program, The Essence of a Woman. I've been your host, Jamaican Joan. And until next time, you take care and make this a $1 million day. Jamaican Joan and the amazing panelists, we are out.